Hello everyone, Mr. Massacre back with my second gameplay commentary. Here I am a yellow Terran on 3v3 on Monsoon. Shout out to my allies Jerry, who's purple Terran, over here in the corner, and Wheezy, who is orange Protoss in the other corner. Our opponents are two Terrans and a Protoss, so this is a pretty even, and I start out building SEVs until 10 to 11 supply, 10 over 11 supply. And then I build a supply depot. This is a strong economy strategy, but I end up going straight infantry, just like Jerry here, only we take different approaches. I build 6 barracks, and he only built 2, which is good because he went into armor later, which presented to me to start and continue with infantry. Infantry work very, very well in combined arms, which was very beneficial in our relationship here, as in the later game you will see that Jerry here goes on to build battle cruisers and other armor, which combine very well with my infantry forces. But here in the very beginning we go dual infantry and go in and wipe out the Protoss base before it can fully get established. Here we go. Jerry takes the opportunity to take out this pylon, softening up their defenses, and moves on into the base. I follow up with my somewhat less numerous infantry forces, and I take the opportunity to wipe out all of the probes that I can. I think 1 or 2 got through, but I still managed to do some real damage to him. And he did end up rebuilding his base later on in the game, but it slowed him down a lot with getting all those probes. This base is basically done for though. Sweep over into Blue's base, Blue Terran, and do a lot of damage to him very early on, destroying a lot of critical buildings. This attack was not designed to annihilate everybody, in spite of what Jerry's going to say later. Jerry thinks we could have won right then and there, but just combined infantry and a little Protoss, all we managed to do is cripple them, which did end up being very useful later. You're going to see that here in a minute once we finally do drop in. Anyway, my economy is going strong. I end up expoing up to the mineral node up at the very northern part of my base, just off the ledge, and I only build those 2 bases. And you see here that I send in a couple of more waves of infantry, and I do some serious damage, but that's all that I was really trying to do, is hurt them. Wasn't trying to stop them. That command center with the gun, I forget what it's called, that thing does a lot of damage, and it's pretty difficult to take it out with just infantry. But infantry supported by heavier units, nothing can stop it. Well, I won't say nothing, there are some things, but there's nothing that they were in any position to acquire. And that was the whole point of our early strategy, was damage them so that they won't be able to stop us later. Anyway, here's my infantry staging area. It's where I throw all of my infantry dudes, and eventually I end up with 90 some of them. 90 Marauders and Marines. That's a lot of infantry. It does a pretty good job. And that was my entire tactic this entire game, was just build infantry and don't stop building infantry. You see I have my supply depots in a nice neat little line there. Well, anyway, here's Jerry, and in his base you can see clearly that he's got 2 battle cruisers and he's stationed to have several more by the end of the match. Orange Protoss Wheezy ends up with air Protoss units. Void Rays, I think, were all that he built, but he also supported them with Stalkers, which ended up combining very well with my existing infantry. Anyway, moving on. We can see here that red and blue are going to be able to tell where we are when we attack, so we make one big push in the middle of the game. That was our whole tactic, and we used a lot of forces to do it. Micromanagement and macromanagement are the key. It's a big benefit to you to send your forces into attack and be able to control them on the field, but also not allow yourself to slip into the rut where you're not producing forces and all you're doing is building up minerals and gas and you've got them sitting there. Try your dangest not to let the shit build up. You do not want to just have a bunch of money and not be spending it on anything. You want to put yourself in the red as much as you can, because it's rather embarrassing to lose a game and have 10,000 minerals and 5,000 gas left while you're losing. Well, anyway, we're getting just primed to attack right here. I've got some medevacs supporting my infantry, which is always a good idea. I've already purchased a couple of upgrades for my infantry's weapons because I'd come to terms with the fact that all I was going to be doing is infantry. And as you can see, we're getting ready to get staged to move into our final assault.
Ready for dust off.
We're trying to stay outside the range of the sensor towers as much as possible, but this isn't exactly doable under the circumstances. So Red realizes that we're there, and he decides to scan to see exactly what he's going to be up against. I don't think he saw all of my forces, but he did see all of Purple's, all of Jerry's, and that probably tipped him off. Not that it would help. If he had been a little bit more proactive, he probably would have realized. Well, and here you see me poking around telling Orange to take his ass over here, and we're ready to go. There's the scan. Orange and Purple are revealed, and we move in for our attack.
Armed and ready.
Planetary Fortress. That's the name of the command center. Well, they're very good defensive structures, but he didn't have his planetary fortresses backed up with any kind of real missile turret or any other kind of bunker support. Bunkers would have caused a lot more casualties if he had decided to do that. Here are the Void Rays, because those two probes managed to get through in our first attack. If we managed to stop those probes, we could have ended that, and the Void Rays wouldn't be a problem. Not that it really caused any real damage that we couldn't deal with. Yes, we dealt with this match pretty well. I continued to build Marines the entire time, Marines and Marauders the entire time we were doing this attack, so that after everything, once we pushed into our final bases to clear out, if something surprised us and I lost a lot of Marines, or like a psionic storm, or something unexpected were to happen, I would still have those backup forces. It's always a good idea to continue building and try not to let yourself fall into the rut when you don't have troops, and you do have minerals. Never a good thing. Here's one of Red's final bases getting annihilated by the Void Rays. And then we push up into Red's maiden base. And here I go. Meanwhile, while this is happening, I had some other troops running around just north of this position, making sure that none of those barracks got through. There they are. And cleared out a base right at that high-yield mineral node just prior to our push on the Red base. Here's the final Red base, moving in with all of our troops, just everything in, all in, because there's no reason to leave anyone behind now. It's the final push. It looks like it's Teal's base, too. Teal and Red have pulled up here. And I realized that I sort of filmed that in fast motion, so here is the normal speed version of the final push. And everything just went our way. Anyway, subscribe to my channel and like this video, please, and I'll be putting up more. Thank you.